What is up, book nerds? My name is Hillary and welcome back to my channel. I am here to tell you all about the books I read in August. I will say I had no 5-star books for the month and that kind of sucks, but I did read some really good books. They were just not quite 5 stars. But yeah, I am so excited to talk to you about all the books that I read and all the different genres I read, because I had some graphic novels in there and a bunch of romances. So let's get into what I read for the month of The first series that I'm going to be talking about is a graphic novel series, and they are right here. They are very heavy all together. And as you can see, they're the Olympus series. I have volumes 1 through 4 here. I absolutely love them. I love how Rachel Smith writes about hard topics in her books and triggering stuff, and I love how right at the beginning of the book she puts a trigger warning there to tell you kind of what the depictions of the book is, and if you're not okay with it, then don't read this. Love that part. I also really love the artwork in these books, and just so good, and they get to be, the romance in it gets to be very spicy, and I love that. These are very 18+ books, I will say, so I honestly wouldn't let my kids read them. I even have a 14-year-old, I wouldn't let her read it. But yeah, 18+ I would say for these books. And if you don't know, the Olympus series is a Hades and Persephone retelling, but it's not just them in the book. It has like Zeus and Poseidon and Ares and Artemis and all the Greek gods in here. But you're mainly here for the story, and it revolves around Hades and Persephone and their romance and all that. And yeah, it's very good. I love it. The first 3 were rereads for me, and obviously the 4th one just came out not too long ago. And I will say, I think the 4th one is like, it's either the 3rd or 4th that is my favorite out of this series so far. I'm just want to know how many of these Rachel Smith is going to be doing, because it just seems like there's going to be a whole bunch of them, because of just, you get so much, like just a little bit of the story and then it's done and you're just waiting. And I wonder how into detail and how far she's going to go. So like if she gets done with Hades and Persephone, is it going to be like tied in with somebody else's love story on how they got together and stuff like that? But yeah, these were definitely 4-star reads for me, all of them, and really loved them and enjoyed them. This next book is a newer release that just came out, I think, in July. I absolutely love this book. I gave it 4 stars because it just, I don't know, it just wasn't a 5-star read for me, but it wasn't less than a 4. But that book is The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. This is a story about the main character girl, whose name is Cassie. She doesn't really have any family, and she is broke, and so now she's unemployed and she's looking for another job. Well, before that, she used to be an OnlyFans. She had an OnlyFans account, and that's how she made her money, but she stopped doing that because she fell for one of the guys that she was talking to. And then in comes Aiden, and he's looking for a nanny because he's a single dad. And so Cassie ends up becoming his nanny, and she ends up finding out that Aiden was the guy on OnlyFans that she fell for, but he don't know at that time. And just everything that's happened in this book was crazy, and there was some parts that were sad parts. I just didn't like the miscommunication towards the end, and if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. So that's why it really came down to it being a 4-star for me, because in a way, to me, it didn't make sense at all. But yeah, this book is very, very spicy. So that was a treat, and I could reread this book again and again because that's how good it was. But yeah, I would recommend if you want a spicy, not overly done romance, read The Nanny. So good. And then the next 3 books I'm going to be talking about are all part of the same series, but they can be read individually, so I will just talk about them one at a time. And the first book is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This one I gave 3 stars to. I understand why people say that they could skip this book and go straight into the second one now that I've read the first 3. I need to read the last one still. But this one, I enjoyed, don't get me wrong, but I didn't like the way that he talked to the main girl, the way that he did when they slept together. It just, like, now, I've read some dark romances, and when I say dark, I mean dark. And they talk like the guy in here talked, but it just was overdone for me in this book. I understand if it was like once or twice, but every time that they slept together, he would say the things, and I'm like, okay, this is almost too much. I really didn't like Alex. I understood where Anna Huang was coming from when she wrote this book, and she really wanted like the opposite to attract, the sweet girl to the grumpy sunshine kind of trope, and brother's best friend, but it was okay. I don't know if I would ever reread this, but I'm definitely keeping it just because I love the way that all of them look on my shelves together. Then, of course, since I said that this is part of these books go together, I read Twisted Hate, which is the second book in the Twisted series. Or, no, sorry, wrong one. Twisted Games, which is the second book in the Twisted series. This one, oh my gosh, I loved this book. Bridget and Reese, loved it. It was done so well, and the fact that it was in 2 parts, so you got like when he first came into her life to the present, and everything that they went through was crazy. The stuff Bridget went through just blew my mind. The fact that, I'm trying not to give spoilers, but her life changed because of one thing that happened, and Reese left for a while, and then he comes back, and I loved it. I think they are the perfect couple. They were like meant to be together, and the things that happened in this book that you find out about Reese's life shocked me, and I just can't stop gushing about Bridget and Reese because they were just my favorite. And then the last book that I read this month, you already saw, is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang, the 3rd book in the Twisted series. This one was a 3-star for me, only because Josh in this book really got on my nerves. Jules, I love how she's so tough, and I love the fact that the guy fell first, but Josh annoyed me. Yeah, I understand that you were mad at Jules because of what she did and what she took, but the fact that she brought it back and then he basically screws her and all that just bugged me out. He was being a little, excuse my language, but a little bitch in this book towards that part, and it just turned me off of this, and I could care less about Josh. Jules, I would love a book just about Jules. I love Jules. I think she's a firecracker, and loved how she always put Josh in his place because of when her and Anna, is it Anna or Ava? I think it's Anna. It's Ava. But her and Ava moved in together the first time, and Josh tried getting Ava to move out and don't live with Jules because Jules was a bad influence. But yeah, so love Jules. Don't really care for Josh. He's kind of whiny. We all go through stuff in our life. You need to get over it. But yeah, now that my rant is over, those are the books that I read for the month of August. I didn't read that much if you consider 4 of those books were graphic novels. But I needed to read the Twisted series because it's part of the book club that I'm in with my mom and my sister-in-law. Those are the 4 books that we have to read. which I said I still have to read the 4th book. But yeah, I'd say if I had to pick one book that was my favorite this month, it'd be between 2, and that would be The Nanny or Twisted Games. And I had a blast reading those. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you read any of the books that I talked about, please let me know in the comments below what you thought about them. And if your opinion differs from mine, that's okay. Let me know. I want to know why and what you thought of these books. And as always, keep on reading, people. Bye!